Hi friends, this is Janie from Graham's Backyard Living and want to welcome you today. I've got a beautiful sunny day outside for a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of touch base with you on what's going on today. And I got one pie done. So here's one. And these are the deep dish pans. I haven't done one before and I filled it a little bit full, but it looks like it's doing pretty good. Center is good and spongy, but I had some neighbors get rid of some pumpkins, so I'm cooking up some pumpkins. And if you ever thought about making some pumpkin pies instead of buying them, I know it's a little bit of work. It's not really that much. And to tell you the truth, my husband, again, I don't know what else we talked about. Oh, the spaghetti sauce giving you really bad indigestions. Well, any kind of like pumpkin pies and stuff like that, he'd just get indigestion really bad. Well, and I hate to tell him that my wife makes it so special that I said it's not special. It's real pumpkin. It's the I don't even know what ingredients they put in pumpkin pies, but something that they put in there, I guess, for it to last a lot longer or whatever, really messes with your gut. So if you want to be able to eat pumpkin pie again, just take the pumpkins that you had off the porch. I picked up a couple for $2 each. They were getting rid of them. And then I saw on YouTube, on Facebook, they were advertising, one place grocery store was giving them away free, but that's in the next town over, so I wasn't going to bother to go over there. But I got those two. Got one cooked up. My husband and I ate one pie. He took the other pie. If you hear how quiet it is, it's because he's gone hunting, and Dookie Duke is gone with him hunting. So that's why it's so nice and quiet, and it's so wonderful to get a break from him. But anyway, the neighbor had 3 that was not marked up or painted or whatever. So I took those 3 because I do supply them with the eggs. So they give it back a little bit in supplies and stuff. But I'll show you this recipe really quick. And it's easy to make them. What I do is I'll cook this up. I'll cook these pumpkins up. And I can't tell you how much. I put it at 350 degrees. And I just wait until I can push down on the skin. And it's real mushy. So then I pull all that out and blend it. Of course, you do have to clean it out. Here's a little bit of guts and stuff I have. And what I'm going to do, I tried to throw that to the chickens as is. And they like the stringy part and everything. But they didn't eat the seeds. So what I do is I'll throw that up in a food processor and grind it up. And that way they eat the seeds and everything. But I'll show you this recipe really quick. It doesn't have the time on there, but I cook it at 350 degrees. So what I do is I'll take the can of condensed milk, which is 14 ounces. I'll scoop all that out. Then I'll scoop in I'll fill that can back up with some pumpkin puree and then mound it a little bit so it looks like 15 ounces. Then I put 2 eggs and then 1 egg yolk, and then I mix all of these ingredients, all of the spices and everything with it. But because these aren't necessarily, I think they call them something certain, like sweet pumpkins or something for baking or cooking. These are just any old pumpkins. So I will add 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar to it, and for a little bit of extra sweetness, and it turns really nice and dark. And the 2 pies, me and my husband ate the one. Throughout the day, we just demolished 1 pie, and then of course he took the other one with him. So I'm gonna head outside and we're gonna see what's going on. It's so nice and quiet out here now. But let me show you this girl right here. She's upset with me. See her just pacing and pacing and pacing. Well, that's Big Mama that used to run this whole side over here, and she don't understand why she can't get over there. She jumped on the hot tub so she can go from, well, she's too really, it was a real big effort because she's so fat. But she did get up on the hot tub, and I shoot her back over with that pool noodle. Big Mama, this is your new house right now. This is your new place. You don't get to run the whole place. You're going to stay over here. I know. It's awful, huh? She just, Mama, it's okay. She pushes and pushes on this fence. And what I'm afraid is if she pushes on this lip right here, that'll open up. And I'm afraid she's going to figure out how to open that up and get it open. But she's a little bit upset right now that she can't get out. Don't push on that fence. But there's one pumpkin there, and I'll cook them over time. See, they've been eating. They got pumpkin out there, and I got a little bit of pumpkin here. And as it breaks down, this was a fresh pumpkin. Now, I did give them the peels of the cooked pumpkin, and they didn't seem to care too much for it. They like this. So as this kind of breaks down and gets softer and softer, they eat on it a little bit every day. But if you saw my reel, you saw a Scooter on the new slide. Now, this is not what it's going to stay looking like. So what I'm going to do is, the neighbors gave me this, and it's kind of crickety, old swing that they had. It feels pretty solid. But what I'm going to do is, those are rusted so bad. So my husband's going to get the cutter, and we're going to cut all these swings off. And I put this one, this is an old, swing set that we had. And then I'm going to fill in. I know I got to fill in right here because I don't want their foot to get caught in here. But I have some strapping. And of course, if anybody else is like me, you put this strapping away for that day that you're going to strap all this. And I can't find it. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get like a towel, and I'm going to shred it up, and I'm going to start weaving it in here, and I'm going to tie it up across here. Now, they're not jumping on there too much. Scooter. Good morning, Scooters. Scooters has jumped up there and sat up there a couple of times, but for something like this to come in, it's going to take them a while to get used to it. And if you see, it's real low to the ground, so it's just a little hop up for them. And then I'm going to spray the whole thing white. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take these off and use these screw holes. I'm going to put a 2x4 across here, and then on the inside put a 2x2. If you know me, or if you've ever heard me talk about 2x2 versus 2x4s, I always want them to be roosting or sitting up on a 2x4. So I'll run a 2x4 on the inside and attach it to the piece of wood that's out here. And then I'm going to spray the whole thing white. And that'll give them a little jungle gym to kind of jump around. And then they'll be able to get on each side. They'll be able to sit up on the ends. And Scooter's tried out the swing. You like the sitting on the swing? And then here's the baby from this mama. And I hope this baby isn't as crazy as this mama is. She hates everybody. She picks on everybody and runs around crazy. She's wanting out of this so bad. She gets mad and she runs inside. But I got two other ones. So these ones are just lounging around and stuff. So with my breeding program, that's what I'm going to have is, and there's my girl, my blue girl. Well, Blue Girl has met her match with Big Mama, because Big Mama ain't going to take her crap. So it's a little bit of a push and shove right now, but hopefully it's all coming together on my my ideas of what I'm going to do for breeding. Yay, and it's Alabama football today, so I got my football shirt on. Let me see these two in here if I can see them. I have food and water in here because I have two more girls over here, and they get pecked on so much. They haven't really figured out that they can go. They have, but they feel safer just staying in here, and they're okay with that until at some point when they learn to get along with each other. And Speedy is feeling his manhood, because once Big Mama got in here, he ran right to her and tried to mount her. And he's a little bit small for Big Mama, so it didn't work out too well. But once he fell off, Big Mama turned around and beat the tar out of him. So he doesn't. He's kind of, you know, when that stupid wanting to breed kind of sensation kicks in, and you're not thinking about how you got your butt whooped yesterday. He tries it again. She backed up and turned right around and tried to whoop him. So he's pretty much ready. And I have him listed on some of the Facebook sites for sale. I want to get him off to a good home or something. He's going to be a beautiful, beautiful rooster. If not, I may end up moving him over there with the leg bars and see how he does over there, but I'll show you these ones here. But and of course, it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's going to be 72 degrees today. Tomorrow we're under a freeze warning for tomorrow night, so it's a little bit warm. These girls come out, but over there that coop is getting pretty warm, so I'm gonna have to prop some of course, here we go with the big airplanes again. Prop some windows open over there for them, because it's getting pretty warm in there. So I got all of this done up, and it's all pretty well sealed. Now this one, my husband was having a hard time with the ceiling in here, because it kind of it is a triangle. Don't let that door slam on you. So this is our ventilation. The whole roof of this is open and along this side, and I need to blow that little trough out again. But like I was saying last time, we had a rat chew that door, chewed that apart, so my door wouldn't work. So I've got to check on my doors again. But yeah, that's for their ventilation. Other than that, this whole thing here is pretty well covered, insulated, and ready for that cold weather. So today is just kind of, I guess I'm just enjoying the chickens. And hey there, Snowbird. That's my snow boy. My pretty boy. What are you doing, pretty boy? He's still not sure about me. And Pegs. What are you doing, Peggy? So they're all just enjoying the nice weather out. Like I said, it's beautiful out here. I'm in a t-shirt, and I've been sitting out here. I sat out here yesterday evening until that wind started whipping up, and it was a little bit chilly, but just enjoying this last little bit of nice weather. I know next week is going to be great. You know, it's going to be nice weather, and it's not going to be no issue. But I know I'm trying to group, like a lot of people that just have anxieties and stuff about it's getting by me. Anxieties about the holidays. I mean the holidays too, but about winter time. And let me look in here. Got one there still. Don't see no others. But if wintertime really gets you down and stuff, so I'm trying a new thing this year. So you know, we're already halfway through November. So I think November and December, okay, get through that. That's 2 months. So I'm only looking at 2 months, and I'm going to open up these windows. I have plexiglass over over their hoops, and then they have a stick, and I prop these open so they get ventilation during the day. Come on now, it's hard to do this one-handed. I'll put you up in the trees. But anyway, I just, where's my other prop? I'm grouping my months together. So I'll do January. Look at that. Everything is still nice and green. Look at look at those leaves. I'll be having to rake up here before long. But see, I have all this to fall, and I'm thinking and I just mowed all this the day before yesterday. So I'll get over here. These are pretty. So I have this last little bit of leaves and stuff, and I'm just going to wait till they all fall, and then I'll get it all up. But anyway, so I'm grouping it together. So November and December, of course, your holidays, some cool weathers and stuff. And around here, January and February is the worst. So I'm thinking that's only 2 months, January and February. If I could just hold tight and just buckle down for those 2 months, then March is coming and it's spring. So that's how I'm going to think about it this year, and hopefully not thinking about the long, awful winter. I'm just thinking it's 2 months long, and then we'll be done. Let's look at these girls in here. And see, this is theirs. I got it all done, and then I threw that shade cloth down over it because they get sun in the morning. But I left this strip open for a little bit of ventilation, and some of these girls got out yesterday. They ran out. Quit. Go on. And this girl is going to go over there eventually. And then this one over here, she is molting so bad. Oh, I see your feathers coming back. You're looking better. So I'm not going to grab a hold of her or handle her, because she had a really hard molt this year. But these are my cream leg bars. And this pin over here is getting pretty thin once I'm moving these girls out. But you can see all the feathers. They had quite a few. But you can see this girl right here. She's going to go over there. And she don't get along with Big Mama, so we'll have to see. And these are my 2 olive acres. Right there, and then that's my Buff Orpington. My other olive acre. But yeah, it has gotten pretty warm here. So if it gets very much warmer, I'll probably open the door and let them out. They can come out. The pool's covered. They have a little bit of grass over here and stuff they could probably pick on and stuff. And then here's the babies, but they're not babies anymore. Oh my, and so they are going to come over here and go in with the cream leg bars once I get all the Buff Orpingtons moved out of there. Look at how big they've gotten. Hey, babies. Say, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. And watch this one right here. Hey there, baby. Where's my babies? What are you doing? What are you doing, my big girl? See, I like coming up here and seeing Mama, and I look at the big world out there. Look at how big they've gotten in such a short amount of time. I think, oh, they're going to be good in here for all winter long. No, and that's Mr. Blue. Looking so pretty. So these are the little babies I got a month or so ago, and man, they grow quick. So before too long, I'm going to get them, they're going to go over here in this pen, which I thought they'd be able to stay in there through the winter, but they are just growing so fast. And I opened up the bottom so they can go to the bottom, but they just won't go down there. So I just keep them there. And when I'm going to get those other 2 Buff Orpingtons moved over here. And it's a chore at night trying to get them to go up into the house. And I'll show you the house over here. And the reason these Buff Orpingtons did okay over here in this house, but it was a really high, I have the shelves, and their roosting is all the way up at the top of the ceiling, and I know that's not good for like heavy birds. And I did have one of these young girls hurt her leg whenever she was younger, trying to, I guess, maneuver up there. So when I saw this coop and little run house, I really liked it because of me getting Brahmas and bigger birds. So I even lifted that up on a couple of steps so it's not so steep. And they go up in here. And then it's just a little hop from the ground. I kept everything low, and it's real short and everything for them. Because you don't want really big bodied birds having to go really high or jump really high, because you run a risk of them injuring themselves on trying to get up there and trying to jump real high. Scooter has enough problems just trying to walk on his own 2 feet. He looks so funny. Even now, whenever he runs, I guess that's why I've named him Scooter, because he looks bow-legged or something. I don't know. He just runs so fast. Oh, she got that gate almost open. I'm gonna have to. I let Duke run in and out that fence, and he pops it open, and it just because I have it leaned back, it'll go ahead and shut. And she's adamant about getting out of here. But she kept going over to the neighbors. She could go out the back. Ooh, look at her pushing on it. She's going to learn how to get out there. Mama, you're going to stay over here now. That's not your side over there anymore. No. You need to just calm down. You're going to stay over here. This is the only bird that I have seen doesn't want to be social. Now, her little baby kind of wants to socialize and stuff. And when I moved her over here with the older girls. And she got along with them for a while, but the rooster was just tearing her up. So she was constant. But the little bird, the little one, was running with these other birds over here just fine. And when she runs, she'll be down in front, and I'll find her in the front yard, and she'll be in the side yard, because I don't have that totally closed off over there. But she is adamant about getting back over there. No. You're crazy. I've never seen a bird that absolutely does not want to. No, you're not pushing it open. Look at her trying to push that door open. She doesn't want to get along with anybody. She doesn't want to cohabitate with any other birds. She's just happy to be over there in that little triangle. And for this winter, I'm trying to get everybody set where I can leave for a couple of days and go hunting, and not have to worry about opening doors and getting them out. I don't have an automatic door on there, but and know that they'll be put up and they'll go up. But she's just gonna wear herself out trying to get over here. No, Mama. She just does that. And then the poor little baby. I know you have a psycho mama. I don't know what to tell you. And she picks on everybody. It's not that anybody picks on her or is mean to her or anything. She's the one that picks on everybody and is mean to everybody. She does not. I've never seen a chicken that didn't want to be with anybody else. But here in this crazy, but I've got one there, and I still have one there. So I'm slowly cooking them up. I don't know if I'll cook any more of these. I've got that pie. I've got another one baking, and usually a medium pumpkin like that will make you 2 of the regular, and I cheat. I don't make my pie crust, so it's in the flatter pie crust. I can get 2 pies out of a medium pumpkin. And what you can do is you can just puree it up. What I did was I made 2 pumpkins. No, there was a little bit left. Yeah, I did two of the smaller ones, and then I had some pulp that I made this one. All you do is put that pulp in the food processor, process it up, and it turns to puree. Just puree it up, and then just put them in a container and put them in the refrigerator. And that's what I did. And then I made this pie. So I'm going to make the neighbors a pie, since they gave me all these pumpkins for my chickens. But I'm going to make them a pie, and just make up a couple more pies and put them up as time goes by. I'm going to see how long these will last. I got one big one there, and then that small one there. And you can even freeze it too. I still have some in the freezer from last year. But since these are fresh and I have them here and just hadn't been in and one thing like I told in my previous videos, I'm not a baker. But the pumpkin pies and then when I made those up last year, they came out, I think I used less pumpkin that it called for, and did the condensed milk in there, and it came out a creamy custard type pie. So if you're comfortable with pies and stuff, and you can adjust, because this was a deep dish, it almost doubled. So I used, like I said, I used the 1 can of condensed milk. It almost doubled in the pulp. So I used 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, and you taste as you're making it. And I put all the spices in there, and I almost doubled everything except for the condensed milk. I did 3 eggs instead of 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. And you can see how much rise I got out of it, and that's because of the extra egg in there. But as I mix everything in there, you taste it. And I taste it and taste it and make sure it's sweet enough, condensed enough for you, however you like it. But if you want to stick just to that, you can put out as many pie crusts as you want and just fill it up till it reaches the top and bake those. And they're so easy to make and throw together. And my husband he'll go through it. He didn't want to eat any yesterday. I told him, cut into that other pie and eat you a piece. No, then I won't have none out there at the hunting camp, because he'll sit out there and it'll take him 2 days. He'll eat that whole pie. But that's fine. That's what it's for. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't give us the indigestion or whatever is in store-bought pies. And like I said, we any kind of spaghetti sauce, we got to be very careful in our old age with stuff like that we get indigestion very easily. And to me, I still say it's from, the chemicals. It's not from the actual food that you're eating. And a lot of people's food allergies, they say they have food allergies and stuff. And I honestly believe, and I'll continue to believe it, it's the chemicals and stuff, the preservatives that they put in the foods today that ruins our gut, gives us the acid reflux, and then we have to take a pill to calm down the acid reflux so we can eat the foods that we're provided with today. So anyway, that's a whole nother rabbit hole for me. But like I said, we try and eat as fresh, and as everything I grow, I try and stick to. But pie crust, I kind of skip that, and it's just easy to go get. I get, I think he got me four sets, and you get 2 each of pie crust, and I'll just pull out a pie crust, and it's just easy to do that. And it's easy too to take a day, and it's not hard to make your pie crust. Just make pie crust and roll them in little discs, put them in the refrigerator. They last about a week in the refrigerator before you need to cook them up, a week or two. You can even freeze them and then get them out, roll them out when you're ready for them, throw them in a pie pan, and have your pies ready. I guess you could put them like those are. Those are frozen and they're in a pie pan. I guess you could roll them out and put them in a pie pan and put them in the freezer and then just have them ready made for you if you want to go that far. But that's one step that I skip and make my life a little bit easier for me. But I'll make these pies and he'll go through them real quick, and they're nice for gifts. Like I said, they gave me all of. She's gonna get that gate open. I'm watching her, so that's been my last couple of days, is just watching them. But it's nice to give those as a gift. Like I said, they gave me 3 of the large pumpkins, so I'm going to make them a pumpkin pie. And I'll have a couple here, and then when the kids come by or something, I'll give them one here and there. But that's been basically my last couple of days of what I'm going to do this weekend. Like I said, my husband went hunting. It's bow hunting season right now. I don't bow hunt. He has one bow, so he's gone bow hunting. And so November 15th, I think, is gun season. I do gun hunt, and I'll be taking you along whenever I do some hunting, and we'll see what we get this year. I usually don't really get serious about hunting until around December. We usually spend his 2 weeks off of work during the holidays and stuff. We kind of escape all of the holiday madness and just stay out there at the hunting club and just enjoy being out there, and it just takes us away from the stress and the hustle and bustle of the holiday. And then I let the kids, my one daughter she works swing shifts, so she'll probably work the holidays, and she don't mind doing that. And then of course the kids will go with their father. The other grandkids and those kids are going to New York with their family up there. So really that just kind of relieves us to to do what we want to do. And I really don't do a whole lot of holiday stuff or whatever. We just hang out there, and like I said, just kind of escape all of the craziness of the holidays. I grew up in the floral business, greenhouses, and our rush time was every holiday. And we were working and working and stressing every holiday. And for me these days, it's just nice just to escape all that and, enjoy the summertime. If we want to do a get together or something, we'll do it in the summertime. And, kids travel in the summer and we all get together and we have a summer party or something. But other than that, I get away from the holidays and escape the holidays, and it's so nice. Our hunting camp is about an hour and a half away from here, and I think it's still 3,500 acres. We have like 26 members, and of course they'll all go home with their families for the holidays and stuff, and it's usually just me and my husband out there, and we just kind of have the run of the whole property and do some hunting and some sightseeing and ride through the woods and stuff like that. And that's our holiday, and we enjoy doing that. So I'll take you along with me on that in the next few days, in the another video or something. Like I said, it'll be November 15th is opening of gun season. And then, like I said, I get really serious about it, I guess. The bucks go into rut, which means, they're looking for women. They're looking for the does, and they kind of forget about where they're at or what or they are not as cautious as they should be, and they kind of running amok through the woods and stuff, and that's about the best time you can get a buck. And I usually hunt one big buck a year. If I happen to see one on camera, we have several cameras out and stuff. Or if not, and then we'll get a doe. We'll get a couple of does and we'll get a buck, or he'll get a buck, or I'll get a buck. I think this last year, but the year before, me and him got a buck a day apart. He got a buck and then I got a buck. So it fills our freezer. It is very good meat. I cook everything I can cook with the deer meat. I hate having to go and buy hamburger. I hate having to go buy, and that's mostly what I use it for, is the burger. Like I said, I can't do a whole lot of other meats, but the back straps, I cut them into medallions and put them on the grill all through the summertime and stuff, and then we'll throw a roast on the smoker or something like that in the summertime, and that's basically our meat that we have. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm doing today. And if you all have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you like my content. I just kind of go down rabbit holes with whatever I'm doing or what's going on with me today. And it's mostly going to be out here, sitting out here, enjoying the weather and just kind of really buckling down, waiting for this little freeze we're going to have. They said for about 6 hours we're going to be down to freezing, and then the next week is forecast for a little bit nicer weather. But anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we have a game tonight at, let's see, who are we playing? LSU. So we have a game tonight at 7:30. So roll Tide, and we will see you in the next video.